Darth Sidious. This Sith Lord managed to conquer the galaxy from within, and despite numerous attempts on his life, he still managed to maintain order. But what if Palpatine's rule was cut short before it began? What if the Jedi managed to kill Palpatine before he could truly cement his place as Emperor?
It's treason, then.
Okay, so there are two main places in which Palpatine's plans could have been overthrown: when the Jedi first discovered his secret identity, and after Order 66 was initiated, when Jedi Master Yoda attempted to kill the Sith Lord. For this video, I'm going to be focusing on the latter, as it's an essential part of the Star Wars timeline, which would drastically change events if it happened differently.
Your arrogance blinds you, Master Yoda. Now you will experience the full power of the dark side.
So, assuming that Yoda was able to kill Palpatine, I want to go over the immediate effects on the timeline. Firstly, Darth Vader would have died on Mustafar with no one to save him after these defeat at the hands of Obi-Wan Kenobi. The command of the Grand Army of the Republic would likely be turned over to the GAR High Command until a new Emperor or Chancellor was elected. The Jedi Order would still be in ruin following Order 66, and the Separatists would be leaderless following the death of Grievous and the ruling Council. Following the death of the leadership of the Republic, Jedi and Separatists, it would create a huge power vacuum. Now, the most likely candidate to fill the void would be the GAR High Command. With the Separatist droid armies being disabled, and with the Jedi remnants in no position to fight, the only armed forces left would be the Clone Army. Some would suggest that the GAR command would simply disband the Senate and rule the galaxy as a military council. However, I don't believe that this would truly happen. The military governors, despite the size of their armed forces, have no real way of dealing with the countless problems that would follow, such as the unfathomable debt, rebuilding the destroyed systems, and possibly most importantly, gaining public support, much of which was lost following the numerous war crimes carried out under Palpatine's short reign as Emperor. For this reason, I believe the GAR command would allow the Senate to elect its own leader. However, the GAR would ultimately determine who would take this position, as anyone attempting to take the place as Chancellor would need the support of the army in order to keep control over the thousands of disgruntled star systems in order to prevent another succession movement similar to that of the CIS. Now, Palpatine's assassination would cause a significant rift in the Senate, the main of which would be the pro- and anti-Jedi supporters. Some senators would have seen past Palpatine's charade and saw that it was not the Jedi who betrayed the Republic but saved it from someone who planned to remove their democracy, whilst others would see Palpatine's assassination as proof that the Jedi attempted to take power. This rift would determine the existence of the Jedi Order, depending on who would take over as leader of the Republic, as they would be able to either deactivate Order 66, allowing the Jedi to live freely, or keep it online, meaning they would constantly be hunted by GAR troops. Of course, there are other divides that would appear. For example, the war wasn't technically over. Many separatist holdouts still remained, and many senators would vote to continue the war until they were stomped out. This may also be done in an attempt to appease the GAR command into supporting them into a bid for power. As well as this, at the point of Palpatine's death, the Republic had been reformed into an empire. Now, it's debatable whether or not the Senate would choose to keep the reformed government or revert back to a republic. It's likely that many of the powerful systems with much sway in the Senate would prefer to keep the reforms, as they would be likely candidates to take the spot as emperor, whilst the smaller and poorer systems would prefer a republic, so they would actually have a say in the government's decisions.
To ensure the security and continuing stability, the Republic will be reorganized into the First Galactic Empire!
Ultimately, I don't believe that Palpatine's death would have helped the galaxy at this point in time. Due to the huge power vacuum created, with both the Jedi, Republic and Separatists all being severely crippled following Palpatine's death, it would be impossible for the Republic, especially with a Senate as divided as it would be, to fill the void. For this reason, I predict that the galaxy would fall into a power struggle, with the remnants of the old government attempting to grasp as much as they could in a galaxy-wide free-for-all. The Senate would be disbanded in a secession movement far larger than that of the Separatist crisis. Different alliances and commonwealths would emerge, which would possibly lead to conflict. Ex-separatists who still possessed sizable amounts of resources from the war would likely turn into warlords, and the army of the Republic would be left attempting to keep the peace in a galaxy that would be torn apart by greed, as I doubt that even they would be able to keep the thousands of systems from leaving the Republic and Senate. Ultimately, I believe that Palpatine's death would simply result in anarchy for the galaxy, returning to a stage similar to how it was pre-founding of the Republic, where conflict would surge and the powerful would conquer the weak, with no one to police them. Ultimately, although the Empire did prey on the weak and wrought 23 years of oppression on the galaxy, at least it did bring some level of stability and order. But what do you think? Do you believe that the Jedi's assassination attempt on Palpatine was warranted and done in the interest of the galaxy, or do you believe it was a petty attempt at revenge by the Jedi remnants? Please remember to put your opinion below, as I found this a really interesting subject. Also, please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more Star Wars Rethink videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.